Control has been a powerful archetype for quite some time. That is because slow and steady wins the race. But what happens when you mix aggro and control? Efficient creatures, counters, and direct damage? Well, this is my take on mono blue. I will say that some playsets contain the original ones and then 3 copies. This is a little sub-theme. The mana base. For Mishra's factory is a requirement. Don't even tell me about restricting the cards. They're basically 4 extra creatures and they can be pumped to deal or receive more damage. The strip mine is land destruction. Only 1 copy here because this is Swedish with Ravenna or reprint rules. 17 islands will provide you with on-curve mana. Keeping a hand with a single island is very risky. Please be aware, but you will usually have a couple in your starting hand. Tolaria is an island that can survive a tsunami. It removes banding and it's a nice legendary. The library is your draw engine and mana provider. Sometimes it's a dead card in your hands, and other times it draws you a bunch of cards. I had to include this for the control element is strong here. The creatures. The incomplete set of Flying Man is pure evasion. It's not always great, but it will do some damage. Arabian Nights in the house. 3 Dandan will bring efficiency to the brew. A 4-1 that is going to be used defensively until the Phantasmal Terrain is brought out as well. Tim, or Prodigal as it's named, is just another reason I built this deck. It can ping anything and it only costs 3 mana. An army of this means the opponent's demise. Serendib is just great, but it does 1 damage to you during upkeep. It has a good body and most mono blue decks use this. This is 1 creature that you should protect with your counters. 4 copies, of course. Mahamoti is freaking huge and it's used as a finisher. Another flyer, I only run 1 copy because of the mana cost. The spells. The Lotus. Every deck is better with 1, or so I've heard. It can speed things up, but it does not substitute lands. Soul Ring has a similar usage, but it just stays on the board. I will reiterate everything I've said about the Black Lotus. The Mox Sapphire is mana acceleration and it's a must. It can save your ass sometimes. 0 cast? I'm in. Ancestral is the best card ever printed, yes. Card advantage is very important and this is as good as it gets. Time Walk should be cast when you're in a good position, so you just win. But if you're desperate, you can cast it like it was a Lotus and hope for the best. Chaos Orb is the best removal in old school. Practice your flips. This gets rid of any one thing. Only 3 Psionic Blasts because the Serendips and Blasts can kill you, but this is the blue boat and it does win games, yeah. The Braingeyser will draw you cards and can enable the library or get you a couple of answers. Gotta have cards. Recall will get you things from the graveyards, and I prefer this to Time Twister. Can bring back some Psionic Blasts. Counterspells define a blue deck. This is the control part. Ask yourself if the threat or spell will kill you quickly or give the opponent a major advantage. Otherwise, maybe you don't counter. It all depends on your hands and the board. Mana Drain is the best counter ever. It sucks the mana out of the counterspell. This is Swedish, so mana burn is not an issue. A Boomerang can save one of your permanents or bounce an enemy threat. This is very powerful. Unstable Mutation will make creatures get big. Just make sure you cast it after the summoning sickness is over. Aggro cards right here. Phantasmal Terrain turns a factory, for instance, into an island to let Dandan attack. It can turn the opponent's land into any basic, and it is pseudo land destruction. The sideboard. A blue Elemental Blast works well against red spells, since when you're sideboarding, you should keep the overall mana curve. Siding out a Flyman and a couple of counters for 3 blasts will allow you to destroy more than just red cards, while having the versatility of a regular counter. Psychic Purge is great against this card, so mono black, surprise 5 damage. Since it's mono black, then using this to pink for 1 can kill a Juzam, for instance. Siding out a Braingeyser and some Flying Man should do the trick, as they won't make much sense in the matchup. 3 Energy Flux works great against the deck, and artifact decks. Also Stasis. Swap out some of your artifacts for this and have some fun. Navanairo's Disc is good when you're facing huge creatures or enchantments. It resets almost everything. You can side out a couple of enchantments or artifacts for these, or even creatures. Boomerang in the sideboard, because it can be a bit useless in aggressive blue builds, although it is very powerful. We discussed this already. Maze of Ith just turns creatures into statues. This is good when your opponent has lots of creatures and will save you a few counters. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Building this was fun. Subscribe and help a small channel, and bye.